folks, to Sigma After Hours. A little bit later than a normal stream. Obviously, for those of you that can't catch the stream, I know it's always available on demand through YouTube after the fact. So, trying to get a head start this week with the Coke 600 on the schedule. The longest race in the Sigma Cup Series each year. So, it's going to be kind of a bit of a game of catch-up here, as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is a little bit funky with the Coke 600 to kind of, throw a wrinkle in the whole schedule plan for this week. So, those of you that do happen to catch the race here tonight, that'll be awesome. I'm glad to have you. Otherwise, hoping some of y'all might be able to catch this on replay the next day. And the title is very much true to what it says. It is a double header, as we're going to start with the USA Trucks West first at Irwindale. 207 laps around Irwindale for the USA Trucks West division.
Touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans, and make sure you get everything like you want it.
Alrighty, so for today's race here at Irwindale, you've got Trevor Vaden alongside Brian DeBlank on the front row. Behind that, you've got the 21 of Trevor Walker and the 94 of Paul Ladino. Chris Harvey and Tasha Wright, Kyler Sestre and Matthew Fastnot, Billy Lovejoy and Luis Rodriguez, Guido Piano and Bailey Parker, Willow Blake and Santi Messi, Casey Nonico and Zach Magoon, Paul Tabarini with Taylor Cording, Noah Hobson and Krista Cower, Spinham Walker and Kat Durham. Campbell Marsh takes over in the number 0 for Willow Racing. Going to be interesting to see what he does after he just came out of getting a victory in the ARCA series, starting alongside Jamie McMurphy, Jason So, Jonah Burridge, Jack Davis, Rich Roy, Chasey Plays, Adam Starr, Matthew Hubert, Monty Shangle, Jameson Thole and Roach, Osiel Escobar, Ray Marcus, Jacob Shangle, Lucas Holmes, and Daniel Paulus Jr. So yes, 207 laps around Irwindale, the now extinct racetrack based out of California. And we're keeping it alive here in the Sigma Series as a track on the schedule. Trevor Vaden and Brian DeBlank will lead them to the start here today.
Oh yeah, I got you loud, clear there. That's clear, Jeff, you got me?
As they come around to get the green flag. Green flag waves, we're off and roaring here at Irwindale. Brian DeBlank's gotten a win on the season already from Texas. And Trevor Vaden's been really, really stout this year too. Paul Ladino, though, as well as Tasha Wright behind him. Those are two drivers seeking to get their first win on the season in the USA Trucks. And it's been pretty much the Matthew Fastnot show here for the USA Trucks West Division. He's right there in 5th at the moment. He is your points leader by 4 points over Trevor Vaden. Vaden with 0 wins on the season still. Matthew Fastnot with 4. And even then, Fastnot's only got a 4-point lead over the number 20 truck that he just gets around on the outside. Tasha Wright settled into 2nd there, right behind Brian DeBlanc. Matthew Fastnot makes up another spot into 3rd there. So yep, as if y'all weren't in when I opened the stream, getting a couple of races out of the way early this week so that we can try to get that Coke 600 done right this year. It's going to take a little bit more prep work to get that Coke 600 rolling this week. That these extra races on the schedule, we're going to kind of add a bit of a hindrance to getting everything pumped out this week. So you'll be getting the trucks and Bridge to Cup here tonight. This truck race should go by relatively quickly. A 207 lap race around a short track. They're running 16-second laps so far. Brian DeBlanc, your leader, over Tasha Wright. Matthew Fastnot, you got a three wide battle there going on for 4th. Luis Rodriguez takes over 4th, and he's fighting for 3rd now. That would be KBM powered trucks up in the top 3 there. You got Tasha Wright as a satellite team, Reemergence Racing. Still pretty much within the same company of trucks there, as she's got a good engine under that number 90, sharing research and development with KBM. Brian DeBlanc recently just achieved victory in the Sigma Cup Series. First Sigma Cup win of the season, and also has a truck win to his name this year. So it's been a pretty solid year for Mr. DeBlanc, having a win in trucks and cup. Running here strong today at Irwindale. Lap traffic is going to factor in eventually here. This is a short enough track that and for Tasha Wright, that would be ideal if she could get the lap traffic to close in sooner on the leader, giving her a chance to try and catch up with the leader. we have it. Brian DeBlanc has now caught up to the lap traffic here tonight. So after the truck race, we do have the Bridge to Cup race coming up tonight still. And it is going to be at Indianapolis. The Bridge to Cup, the Hoosier 275 from Indianapolis. It's 110 laps around the fabled track on a week where we saw the Indianapolis 500 and the Coke 600 just yesterday. We will also have Indianapolis and Charlotte to share the schedule here in Sigma. And so that Bridge to Cup race, it's going to be interesting to see if Willow can start to claw our way back after losing so many points to Carson Bowers in the number 12 machine. The points are not as huge of a topic in Bridge to Cup, especially since we have the bracket championship at the end of the regular season, which turns into a March Madness style event, eliminations to move up through the championship battle. It'll all start at Meridian, which is a track a lot like this one, a short track in Idaho for the Idaho 208 with the Bridge to Cup series, and we'll have head-to-head battles. So basically, like a bracket, you're going to have head-to-head matchups. You'll have the 16 best Bridge to Cup drivers locked in, and whoever has the highest or the best head-to-head average at the end of the bracket championship, which will be 5 races long, will decide who gets to fight in the finale at Mars Speedway for the Sigma Star 400. Well, right there, Tasha Wright has closed the gap up on Brian DeBlanc. We saw a similar performance out of Tasha Wright from Irwindale. This would have been the last race I think she had run before she inherited the award to full-time racing in the Cup Series. She had such a great run at Irwindale that Sigma officials decided to give her the Atlee Weiss clause to move up the ladder quickly. And so she must have a good feel for this track. And it shows again here tonight as she had a great run in the Cup car, and it's kind of transitioned over here to the truck side. Well, and let's see where the rest of our points contenders are running here tonight. You got Matthew Fastnot running in 5th. Trevor Vaden running in 8th. So it looks like Fastnot might be able to extend his points lead here tonight with a good run. Bailey Parker running in 3rd. Still got Tasha Wright and Brian DeBlank, the top 2. As DeBlank's having to deal with a ton of lap traffic here. Oh, wow, the 99's holding up the 85. That's going to give Tasha a chance to jump into the mix here. And even the 03 has joined the party. Bailey Parker's got the fastest lap in the race, so that 03 truck is on a rail right now. Looks like your top 5, you could almost throw a blanket over. They're really caught up to the leader now. $158 laps to go here from Irwindale Speedway. Let's do a Sigma through the field here, as we already know where the top 5 are running. Running in 6th, it's Santi Messi. 7th, Paul Ladino. 8th, Trevor Vaden. 9th, Trevor Walker. So the TV teammates running 8-9. Chris Harvey for LFG Motorsports in 10th. Zach Magoon in 11th. Taylor Cording in 12th. Kyler Sestre is a lap down in 39th. Then you've got Billy Lovejoy running 13th. Guido Piano 14th. Casey Nonico. Jamie McMurphy. Kat Durham. Campbell Marsh. So Campbell Marsh in his debut for the number 0, running about mid-pack here. Paul Tabarini running 19th. Jonah Burridge running 20th. And Willow Blake right in the middle in 21st. Roach, Krista Cower, Noah Hobson, Monty Shangle, Jack Davis, Adam Starr, Spinham Walker, Chasey Plays, Rich Roy, Jacob Shangle, Jason So, Ray Marcus, and your leaders right there behind the number 27 of Matthew Huber and Lucas Holmes. 34 trucks left on the lead lap, as it looks like Bailey Parker's now got his way up to 2nd, getting by Tasha Wright for the position. Seems like lap traffic is not phasing Brian DeBlank one bit here, as he continues to knock him off one by one. Top 6 are all top, the 2nd to 6th. You could, yeah, it's a lot of racing to be had here, as they're passing each other and getting side by side, 2 and 3 wide, with lap traffic in the mix there as well. Lap traffic has really mixed this race up here. just shy of the halfway point. Brian DeBlanc goes high. That might be a mistake on his part. Ideally, you want to make sure to pass him down low on the inside, but he's still clearing them on the outside, so that's an impressive run out of the 85 right there. Back up to second, it is Tasha Wright, as she was able to get back around Bailey Parker. Well, now Bailey Parker is under attack by his team owner there, the 09 of Matthew Fastnot. And Matthew Fastnot has definitely had a stellar start to this season. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot slowing him down. Fastnot Racing Enterprise has really baked on giving him some trucks this year. His worst finish on 2 occasions have been a 6th. He finished 6th at Sonoma and a 6th at Portland. So as you can see the trend there, he's not got the road course power as some other drivers might have. But when it comes to anything turning in circles, he's top 5, almost guaranteed top 3 each week. And if you look here, he's fighting for 3rd on the 03 of Bailey Parker, which would get him back on that podium again, keeping that points lead in his favor. It looks like he's about to get the job done here shortly. Lap traffic's holding up Bailey Parker a little bit. No one is holding up Brian DeBlanc, though, as he's continued to stretch that lead out. His lead is grown to a almost 2-second lead over Tasha Wright. 1.5-second lead over her. Staying pretty steady at 1.5 seconds. So through 72 laps here today, no cautions. No lap changes either. Lead changes, I mean. Lead has pretty much belonged all the way to Brian DeBlanc so far. Still another half the race to go for the most part. A lot could happen. Let us take a look at the pit window here today, too. 189 laps is the projected laps for a gas run here. So chances are they're going to have to pit at least once here today. And that could get interesting because if you pit too early and a caution happens, you could get trapped 2 laps down around Irwindale pretty easily. So timing that pit stop is going to be very, very huge to tackling this race for the win. It's crazy how big of a gap there is from 14th all the way to 15th. Huge gap. Shows you the differential between the powers of each truck out there. Some trucks have a little bit more speed than the others, and that's just proven here with the differential from one spot to the next. We really do have a lot of stout, fast trucks running at the front of the field here, as they haven't really allowed each other to get too far apart. Tasha's getting a little bit of help here with lap traffic, trying to catch back up to Brian DeBlanc. Now the deficit is 1.3 seconds, and she's under attack here from Matthew Fastnot for that second position. She goes high and gets around the outside there. Matthew's going to have to do the same. Unfortunately, he's not able to execute as well as the 90 truck did there. Struggling to get around the outside of the 26. There we go. Makes the job. Pulls it off there. Looks like we do have some drivers on pit road, which may be a bit of a game changer if you get down pit road early and this race stays caution free. Oh wait, we had engine failure out of the 15, so that was not a scheduled pit stop for the 15. He might be broken and out for the day. Yep, that he is. He blew her up. Mechanical failure for the 15 of Noah Hobson here today. So the first retirement in the race belongs to the 15 of Noah Hobson with a piston failure on the number 15 Honda for LFG Motorsports. Tasha's closed that gap up a little bit more. She's down below a second on Brian DeBlanc for the lead. Brian DeBlank starting to stretch it back out again, though. As Tasha's struggling significantly with lap traffic here. She's back to 2 seconds off the lead. The whole bunch of lap trucks in her way. He's gotten all the way down to 25th now. 25 trucks left on the lead lap here tonight, right at past halfway. But is he going to be able to keep running, or is he going to have to make a pit stop somewhere along the way here? Once he gets by these 2 lap trucks, it'll be clear sailing for a little while before he sees the next lapped truck. Tasha Wright still cracking them off one by one here, trying to pass them on the high side. Matthew Fastnot running in 3rd. And Tasha's catching the lap traffic in kind of the worst case scenarios, it looks like. That was like 3 wide in the middle of 2 lap trucks there. Got another truck going down pit road, I wonder. No, maybe it was the pace truck I saw sitting on pit road that I mistook for a pit stop. Yeah, that's the pace truck. Okay, yeah, no wonder I didn't see the screen all that well, obviously. Tasha gets around Monty and now has some clear track separating her from the leader. Brian DeBlank still hasn't found a way around the 7 or the 14 for that matter. 7 is a teammate to Tasha Wright. Reemergence Racing, number 7 there of Spin'em Walker. Almost got to wonder if maybe he's going to try to keep the 85 at bay here to give Tasha a chance to catch up. There we have pit stops with our leaders. Oh, and then we've got a caution as soon as they decide to start pitting. That's the trouble of this race. Anytime that you go to take a pit stop, the caution usually comes out right after. It looks like it was the 94 trying to pull down pit road and misses it. Dang. Just did not calculate the pit speed there and runs right into the wall. So Tasha is your leader for now, but it looks like she's going to have to come down pit road and get fresh tires, fresh gas. Yeah, short tracks are just not ideal in NR2003. That has been proven time and time again. That no matter what you do, you just can't make these short tracks work the way they were intended to work. I don't get it. I mean, the game was designed, obviously, with short tracks on the game. But the AI were never really intended to run on a short track, it feels like. Alrighty, so things definitely got a little bit shaken up here as Bailey Parker is going to be the new leader. Brian DeBlank still in the top 3 spots there, running in second. The lap traffic on the restart, it's going to be interesting here. 24 of Kyler Sestre, the lap traffic kind of going back to a more traditional restart here on the short tracks in Sigma Racing with the lap traffic restarting on the inside. No double file restarts as we can't seem to get that to work here. And so Tasha Wright is unfortunately the bigger of the losers in pit strategy as she falls back to 19th. 09 of Fastnot all the way back to 21st. So 82 laps still to go. Brian DeBlank back to the lead. Bailey Parker, Guido Piano, and Taylor Cording running in 4th with Chris Harvey in 5th. That average finish for Matthew Fastnot somewhat in jeopardy here as he's going to have to come on a deep run here at the end of the race. Campbell Marsh up to 7th. Willow Blake running in 9th. And I wouldn't rule out some more cautions to come our way here tonight. These short tracks always get pretty physical in the late running. Willow Blake 9th. And her teammate Campbell Marsh running in 7th. It's an impressive run right there. And there you have Matthew Fastnot running 21st. Trevor Vaden running 20th. Tasha Wright in 19th. So that's a pretty stout running order from 19th to 21st. Billy Lovejoy in 18th, Trevor Walker in 17th, Paul Tabarini running 17th, Zach Magoon 16th. Spinham Walker, after nearly going a lap down in 25th, has found his way up into the top 15, top 20 here. The late race restart has definitely given a resurgence for some drivers here late in the race. But Brian DeBlank is on a rail here tonight. Crazy how even a mistimed caution wasn't gonna shut him down here tonight. It was looking like that caution could have really put him in a bind. But the caution fell at almost the perfect opportunity when he was on pit road that he could just stay out and re-inherit the lead here. And re-inherited the lead he did with the second half of the race left to go. Driving away from the rest of the field. He's grown his lead back up to a full second and a half over the 03 of Bailey Parker. Guido Piano, Jonah Burridge, and Taylor Cording, your top 5. Chris Harvey, Luis Rodriguez, he's lapped down in 32nd. Not Luis Rodriguez in the top 10, though. 7th, Adam Starr. 8th, Campbell Marsh. Casey Nonico in 9th, with Willow Blake running 10th. Well, DeBlank sneaking up the show here today. Tonight at Irwindale. Sizable lead over Bailey Parker. 2.25 seconds is the advantage with 59 laps to go. Guido Piano has had a win on the season, running third here. One of your USA Truck Champions, the inaugural Truck Champion back in 2022. Guido Piano having a great run here tonight at Irwindale. Jonah Burridge, Taylor Cording, Chris Harvey, Adam Starr, Campbell Marsh, Casey Anonico, and Willow Blake still your top 10. Matthew Fastnot mired in 21st, but the points battle between him and the 20 of Vaden, it's gonna keep keeping tight. Trevor Vaden's only 4 points behind Matthew Fastnot. Well, he might gain about 2 more points here today with the running order as they sit. Could gain as much as 4 points. Might walk out of here with a tie tonight. Who knows? Tasha trying to reclaim some of the spots she's lost. She's up to 16th now. She's got a lot of work to get done. Well, there you have it. Brian DeBlank catches back up with some lap traffic here, and that lead is going to start to shrink again as he's down to 53 laps to go. It's been a fast-paced race so far. Only one caution with the 94 of Paul Ladino crashing into the pit wall attenuator. Well, we're down to just 39 laps left to go here tonight. Brian DeBlanc leads, getting through the lap traffic. And his competition is about 10 truck lengths back there in the 03 of Bailey Parker. He's got about 6 trucks separating him from the lead. As Brian DeBlanc continues to pick them off one by one. But the advantage has shrunk significantly back in the favor of Bailey Parker. 1.67 seconds back. Brian DeBlanc has a win, as mentioned already, on the season. He's sitting pretty decently in the points. With a win here today, could bounce him a little higher into contention, as he's third in the points with 1 win. He's 46 points out of the lead. Matthew Fastnot having a bad race here today. His 46-point deficit might look to be cut in half, and he could be one of the 3 in the mix for the championship. Of course, he's got to bring it home here. He can't just collect those points yet. He's going to have to make sure that the 03 doesn't catch up. Looks like he's starting to stretch it back out on Bailey Parker here with 32 to go. Bailey Parker struggling to get around the lap traffic. And even he's under attack here from the 19 of Guido Piano. Alrighty, down to 25 laps to go, and that lead has grown to 3.45 seconds for Brian DeBlanc. 3.62 with another lap in the books there. There we have Bailey Parker. He's under attack by Guido Piano for 2nd place. Wow, Bailey Parker pushes it 3 wide with the lap trucks there. Now we got Jonah Burridge in the party. That's for position, as well as Chris Harvey, 4th and 5th. They better be careful not to get in a wreck here, as they're all racing very hard. Bailey Park was the first to clear a lot of the lap trucks there, but not much else he can do about the 85, driving away with it here. Wow, Matthew Fastnot, 21st. Ooh, that's a huge move for Trevor Vaden. As he gets up to 18th here, that could be enough to put him as the points leader after tonight. 18th versus 21st with a 4-point deficit. Fastnot, he's going to have to hope he can get another spot or two here. Since there's not much of a battle for the lead, Bruin, this might be the biggest high topic debate right here on who gets this finishing position. Also, let's give a shout out to Campbell Marsh in the number 0 truck. His very first start in the truck series. Gets a good run going here tonight. He's got a few more spots he could pick off here and get almost closer to a top 5 finish. So don't count out Campbell Marsh quite yet for a higher finish result. It's impressive that we've got all these different battles happening right with 20 laps to go. Look at that. He gets around the 14 to get up into 6th place. Actually, that's for 7th. My bad. 6 is right there in front of him, though. The 07 of Jonah Burridge. He's raced with Jonah Burridge a lot in the Sigma Arca series, so a very common rival here that he's competed against before. Still only one caution here tonight. Everything seems to be kind of dwindling down to a close without too much more drama. There you go. Willow also now right up there with her teammate, Campbell Marsh. Willow in 9th, fighting to get into 8th. Might turn into a decent night for Willow Racing here. They just got to find their way around Jonah Burridge in the 07. Ten laps to go. Out there cruising away with the victory is Brian DeBlank. 9 laps to go. Bailey Parker in 2nd. Chris Harvey in 3rd. LFG Motorsports looking to have a great runner-up finish here, perhaps. Guido Piano 4th, Taylor Cording 5th. Oh, wow. Willow Blake gets by Campbell Marsh, and she's now fighting for a top 5 finish. Here with now just 6 laps to go. She's got to find her way around the number 30 there of Taylor Cording to get up into 5th. Campbell Marsh still has not been able to find his way around the number 07 of Jonah Burridge. Five laps to go now. The only competition looks to be for somewhere in the top 10 here, not the lead. Now Willow's got 2 trucks here within striking distance. The 19 of Guido Piano and the 30 of Taylor Cording could get up to 5th or 4th with a little bit of luck. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. The race is all over as Brian DeBlake takes the checkered. Coming home in second, it's going to be Chris Harvey. Chris Harvey gets around. No, wait, what? Holy crap, Taylor Cording got up to second at the end of the race here. How the heck did I miss that? So Taylor was on the cusp of falling to 5th and maybe even under attack by Willow Blake. But as you see here, that was all with the top 5. You had Chris Harvey in 4th there. Taylor Cording sticks it on the high side. On lap 206, she was in 4th. 1 lap later, white flag, she was up to 2nd. Holy cow, man. That changed the trajectory of the finish here as she comes home 2nd, Chris Harvey 3rd, Bailey Parker, Guido Piano, Jonah Burridge comes home 7th, Willow Blake comes home in 6th, and they are dogpiling into the pits. Yeah, Willow Blake with a 6th, and her teammate Campbell Marsh with an 8th. Ultimately, congratulations to Brian DeBlank on getting the win here tonight. Nine races into the regular season are booked. 6 more to go after tonight. And so there's going to be just a slight pause here as we get set up for the Bridge to Cup race. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll get it rolling as soon as possible here.
seatbelts, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favors, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you favors, touch all.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Alrighty, folks, we are getting ready for the Hoosier 275 here in the Sigma Bridge to Cup Series. As front row, you're going to have the 84 of Alex Crowther and the 48 of Luis Rodriguez. Luis Rodriguez is definitely making a bid for trying to get up into the Cup Series next year. His boss man, Tim Cording, is in the next row back with Jimmy Logano. Points leader, Carson Bowers, third row in with Wyatt Wilkinson. Then you've got Alan Malcolm and Willow Blake, followed by the 21 of Ryan Little with the 40 of Alex Sanvital. Indianapolis is always unpredictable as always. Don't know what's going to happen here. This is the inaugural race for the Sigma Bridge to Cup Series here at Indianapolis. So go ahead and throw in complete and total unknown, as none of these drivers, this car in particular, has never hosted a race here at Indy before. Crowther gets the early lead here going through turn 2. Tim Cording gets up to second, and your points leader, Carson Bowers, up to third. Willow Blake stuck up on the high side. She's going to have to find an opening to get down low here, or else she's just going to keep dropping backwards. It's part of your doubleheader here tonight. The Indianapolis Hoosier 275 for the Sigma Bridge to Cup Series. Trying to host a race the same week the big race actually happened yesterday with the Indianapolis 500. Alex Palou came out victorious, and so maybe we're going to have a similar story here tonight with one of our big top contenders stealing the show. If you had to look at the field, Alex Palou would definitely be the number 12 there of Carson Bowers, who's had multiple wins on the season and leads the points. When I say multiple wins, I mean multiple. He's had 4 wins so far through 16 races, leads the points over Willow Blake by 79. And so Bowers trying to assert his position on climbing the ladder for next year. Heck, Carson Bowers has also secured a cup win this year. He's on a part-time schedule on the cup side of things and found victory lane over there as well. So he's locked into the Sigma Cup All-Star event. That could have got dicey there with his teammate, the 41 of Cooper Dwight and the 16 of Wyatt Wilkinson, as they were nearly 3 wide through the turn there. They prevail and continue onward, but it could have been nasty. Tim Cording just turned the fastest lap last time by, as these cars are getting up to nearly 200 miles an hour. You know, it makes sense with the IndyCar that they can get up to 223 miles an hour, 230 miles an hour going into the turns here, because those open wheel cars are glued to the track better than a honking stock car like this. What we're looking at right here, some of the fastest speeds with the weight of these cars, that's insane. 48.920 to Alex Crowther's 49.1. Tim Cording trying to get the win at the Brickyard. And just like anything, if you race here at Indy, it doesn't matter if you're at a go-kart or in a cup car, in an Indy car, getting the victory at the Brickyard it's game-changing for your career. Whenever things change and you look to a new team, that's one of the resume highlights that stick around for the rest of your life. So getting a win here tonight, midway through the Bridge to Cup season, may be a game changer for your career going forward. So we'll see who gets it done. 110 laps, still going to be a grueling ordeal. Going to be plenty of pit strategy to go around, pit stops, and other calls that are going to be made here today. Wyatt Wilkinson with the fastest lap now, and he just turned a 48.763. And this race could very well get totally tied up within 1 hour. The rate we're going, these drivers are setting a rapid pace at 181 miles an hour. Well, this is a 275 mile event, so you'd be looking at about an hour and a half in the distance category here, which is that is hauling the mail around Indianapolis. Obviously, this is the inaugural event, so the record set for the fastest Bridge to Cup race here could very well be today. Well, it will be today because there isn't any past experience to go back onto. But we could really see a record-setting time here today if they keep it clean and avoid any cautions. Well, it looks like I jinxed that into existence. We have our first caution of the race. Looks like it involves perhaps the 24 of Kyler Sestre. Going down into turn 1, fighting with Walkner and Wolf. Krista Cower. Andrew Moger. Moger's already won at Daytona this year, so it would be interesting to see a driver if they could get the job done at 2 of the biggest tracks in circle track racing. Oh, yep, Andrew Moger and Kyler Sestre get connected there. Sends the 24 for a wild spin. Oh, the 38 of Jamie Horseman with nowhere to go. 97 gets sent down pit road. Bam. Chavot just tried to hit the wall to slow down his speed. He just was on a fast lap the last time by, so tough break for the 38 of Jamie Horseman there. Indianapolis is one of those tracks where it's always pretty wild. You never know what's going to happen. You don't know where the wrecks are going to happen. And this one happened in the middle of turn 3 and 4 to take out, looks like, 2 drivers from the race. One for sure, the 97 and the 24 might be able to get their stuff fixed. So 10 laps in, 100 laps to go, and we're going to see our first round of pit stops under caution here. Alrighty. So one more lap under caution here, and let's get reset with the lineup. At the front of the field, Alan Chavot's going to get the wave around. Your leader, Carson Bowers. Second place, Jimmy Logano. Third place, Wyatt Wilkinson. Fourth place, Willow Blake. Could we potentially see a Wyatt and Willow fight that we've been waiting to see in the Bridge to Cup Series for so long? Come on, get around the pace car, buddy. There we go. As the wave around gets filed here, that would put us with 32 cars on the lead lap. One retirement here today at Indy. Carson Bowers, your points leader and now the race leader with Jimmy Logano alongside of him. Wyatt Wilkinson and Willow Blake, Ryan Little and Alex Crowther, Alex Sanvital and Matthew Hubert, Rich Roy and Finley Herwig. Interesting story here, as he's now running the remainder of the full season here in Bridge to Cup after the departure of James Gunner from JSR Racing. Jacob Schenkel Racing in the number 32, stepping away from the series and therefore opening up the seat. The 68 of Finley Herwig had already attempted a couple starts this year and was going to continue to run the road courses on a part-time program, but now has been given the opportunity to step up full-time for the rest of this season. And whatever comes. He might be right here again next year. Very well likely in the number 68 for Jacob Schenkel Racing again. Up into the top 10 early here at Indy in what is his first oval race in the Bridge to Cup Series. Side by side in the second row, it is an ARCA rivalry reheated here in Sigma Bridge to Cup. Willow and Wyatt, who's going to get the edge here on the restart? Carson Bowers gets the lead on Jimmy Logano. Wyatt Wilkinson getting around Jimmy Logano as well. Unfortunately for Willow, that outside lane is not the right place to be. Wow, look at that. From 10th up to 7th, Finley Herwig knocking him down one by one. And maybe even up into the top 5 before long. So our Sigma Cup Series comes here to finish out the season every year, and we do what's called the Indy 550. So 550 miles around Indianapolis. This is kind of that halfway. The Bridge to Cup Series only does 275, but it's a good length race here. 110 laps. It's definitely no 500, but it's an ordeal for these young stars to get a full race in at 110 laps for 275 miles. Willow Blake doing the double here today with the USA Trucks West race. She hopped on a plane just like Kyle Larson and flew to the next track. So from a 6th place finish at the short track of Irwindale, she's already up to 6th here today in the next race at Indianapolis. Here we have Wyatt Wilkinson fighting for the lead on Carson Bowers. So far the race staying green since that first caution we had. Be down to 94 laps to go. Well, after I stepped away there, it's changed up a little bit at the front here as Alex Sanvital fights with Carson Bowers for the lead. Bowers actually having to fight back to get the lead from Alex Sanvital and gives him a bit of a bump there. So that means in third you've got Alex Crowther, fourth Tim Cording, fifth Willow Blake, sixth Cooper Dwight, seventh Jimmy Logano, eighth Wyatt Wilkinson, ninth and 10th it's Luis Rodriguez and Finley Herwig. Well, just like that, Carson Bowers gets passed here by the 84 of Alex Crowther, dropping him back to third here. You got the Alex and Alex show leading the front of the field. Alex Sanvital and Alex Crowther. It's Crowther trying to make a stab at the lead here. We've got another caution, another wreck. Is it perhaps the number 5 of Cannon Gage? Recent victor in the Truck Series. Yep, he's partly involved in it. So that was 3 wide in the middle of turn 3. 27 of Adam Starr and the 65 of Wachter get involved in it. 13 of Noah Hobson also tangled up in the mix. Bam! Hard hit there. Hard hits there. This is about a quarter of the way through the race. See how the 55 of Jason So fares going through the grass here. Nah, he simply gets onto the access road and avoids too much trouble. 51 definitely got a good clip of it there. Bam. Indy's always treacherous, no matter what we got going. It's a tough track to tangle with. And so that means we're going to have another stack up of the field. They'll be stacked up at the front yet again. Doubled up for another restart. So once we come back around to the restart, it's going to be Alex Crowther leading the field with Alex Sanvital on the outside. Carson Bowers in third, Willow Blake in fourth. And then fifth it is Cooper Dwight with Jimmy Logano. Seventh is Finlay Herwig with the 16 of Wyatt Wilkinson. Then you've got Matthew Hubert teammates with Eli Wolf there. Those two, 9th and 10th. Lights are off on the pace car. We're going to get back to going green next time by. Pace of this race slowing down significantly with the 2 cautions we've had thrown in there. Trying to get the green flag to wave back again here will help us get rolling again. Well, at the front of the field, it is the Alex and Alex show. Alex Crowther and Alex Sanvital, with Cooper Dwight and his teammate, the points leader, Carson Bowers. Fifth place, impressively enough, is Finley Herwig on one hell of a tear here. Sixth belongs to Matthew Hubert, and seventh, Willow Blake. Eighth, Rich Roy. Ninth, Eli the Wolf, and Jimmy Logano running in 10th at the moment. Spin Walker gets stuck up high, and he's dropping like a rock right now. Still only one retirement in the race here today, even after a couple wrecks saw some more drivers tangled up in that second caution. Heck, even the 45 of Skylar Taylor rolling around without a front nose clip on that number 45. The 13 is definitely seen better days as he's out there rolling around with very minimal body parts on that number 13. A pass for second place as Cooper Dwight trying to take over on Alex Sanvital there. Well, we are slowly closing in on halfway here in the Hoosier 275 with the Bridge to Cup Series. It's been the Alex and Alex show, and now Carson Bowers and Cooper Dwight are shaking it up in the top 4. Cooper Dwight up to 3rd, Carson Bowers up to 2nd as Alex Crowther leads the way. Willow Blake has gotten up to 5th, passing Finley Herwig for the position. Eli the Wolf, Jimmy Logano, Spinham Walker, and Alan Malcolm, your top 10. 11th is Rich Roy, Matthew Hubert, Luis Rodriguez, Krista Cower, and Trevor Vaden. Wyatt Wilkinson has dropped pretty far back here into 16th, 17th land. Unfortunately, these two, I think, are going to get... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and DQ them. Fortunately, not really meeting minimum race pace here today after damage sustained during wrecks. 13 is next on the list, but we'll keep our eyes on him and see if he can maybe get saved by the caution bell. Halfway now, 55 in, 55 to go here at Indianapolis. Your fastest lap belongs to that of Tim Cording. Most laps led here today belongs to Alex Crowther at 26 laps led. 18 laps led by Carson Bowers and 9 laps led by Alex Sanvital. Those are your 3 different leaders so far here today. Cooper Dwight's got up to 2nd, bumping his teammate back to 3rd. Now Alex Sanvital looking at knocking on the door for 3rd place. And this here tonight's going to pretty much square up half of our schedule for the week on a Monday right here, with the trucks and Bridge to Cup doubleheader here, giving us both races in one night. The next race on the schedule, which may very well end up being tomorrow night depending on my availability and free time, will be the Wiscasset race for the Sigma ARCA series. If we can get that underway and out of the way tomorrow, you'll be looking at a live stream for the Sigma Coke 600 Sprint Qualifier. All the drivers trying to make it into the Sigma Coke 600 on Thursday, trying to qualify their way in on Wednesday. And then, of course, for Thursday, the Crown Jewel event, the second Crown Jewel event of the season at Charlotte for the Coke 600 in the Sigma Cup. Won't want to miss that one. And we will follow that up with Phoenix, Michigan, Sonoma, Richmond, and New York GP on July 3rd, with the Las Vegas 777 Annual on July 7th right after that. We go to Kentucky for the Calvin Steele Memorial on July 10th, and that'll mark about a month off on the calendar. That other thing about the Calvin Steele Memorial, that will be the last race for any drivers to win, try and get their way in to the All-Star event. So we'll be able to actually confirm the lineups and the format for the All-Star event after the conclusion of Kentucky on July 10th. And that'll be our 22nd race on the season. It'll leave us with 20 races to go after that. August is going to be a full slate of racing. And then September is going to get doubled down on. You're going to have a grand total of 8 races in September. And then 7 races in October to cap it off with 1 race in the first week of November in the Sigma Cup Series. On the contrary, this Bridge to Cup season starting to close up pretty quickly here at the end too, as we only have, after tonight, 12 races left on the schedule. Which is crazy that there's only 12 races remaining after Indianapolis here today. You'll have Cleveland, the airport. We'll be racing around the airport there in Cleveland. Phoenix, Sonoma, Ricky Raceway, which should be a wild one. The New York Street Circuit, which is still a very relative unknown. The Las Vegas race following the 777 annual. Pocono, which will be the final cut to figuring out who's in the bracket. So this Bridge to Cup championship is going to get pretty tight pretty quick. Unfortunately for Noah Hobson, not meeting minimum race pace, we're going to go ahead and give him the DQ flag here tonight. Tough break for the 13 after getting some damage early in the race. His day has come to a screeching halt here on lap 60. Well, Cooper Dwight to the lead now over Alex Crowther. First time we've seen Cooper Dwight at the lead here today. Him and his teammate definitely have two of the stoutest cars here in Bridge to Cup with the Mazda Power. Cooper Dwight looking to get another win in his career in Sigma Bridge to Cup competition. But he's going to have his hands full here with the number 84 of Alex Crowther. Wow, newly up into 5th, you've got Jimmy Logano, who got by Willow Blake there for position. Finley Herwig has slotted himself back to 8th at the moment. Rich Roy rounding out your top 10. Well, there we go. Lead swaps hands yet again here as they're fighting side by side. Cooper Dwight doesn't want to give it up here. Alex Crowther took it briefly, but Cooper Dwight fights back and gets the lead away from the 84 again. Great side-by-side racing as these two have been duking it out up front here. 40 laps to go. There's definitely going to be at least one round of pit stops if this thing stays green the rest of the way. Even if we get a caution, everyone's going to come in. But without a caution, we're going to see at least one round of green flag pit stops, and it's probably going to be coming soon here. There you have it, coming with 39 laps to go. You've got some of your leaders coming down pit road already. See when the last time the 84 was on pit road. So from lap 36 to 72. Man, you're coming in just a hair early here. 38 laps to go. Made it 36 laps on this last stint. You almost want to stretch it one lap longer. This might start playing out like the real life Indianapolis 500, where we had some folks that were about 2 to 5 laps too short on fuel. And that may very well be what's going on here with those leaders too. Where they pitted early. We'll see if they've got enough fuel in the tank. Next lap around, Carson Bowers comes with 37 laps to go. We still have some folks that stayed out even longer here. Finley Herwig has not yet pitted. So Finley trying to work in some of that road course magic with fuel numbers, fuel strategy. Stretching it. He was last on pit road at lap 36. And stretches it to lap 74. Meaning he can go 38 laps with 36 laps to go. I like the number game here. You got some folks that are going to have an advantage. How is it going to pan out? Finley Herwig got a lead lap point there. Bonus point for leading a lap. This all comes down to how well his pit stop. Keep an eye on the backside of the track there for any of his competitors that he needs to beat out of pit road. And this is the only pit stop that we're going to see these drivers take unless they start running out of fuel. Then there might be some folks forced to make another pit stop. There comes first, second, third, fourth. Sanvital in fourth. And then the fifth place driver there of Jimmy Logano. Sixth place driver of Willow Blake. Finley Herwig is going to come out in about seventh, maybe eighth here. Rich Roy, Eli the Wolf. He's going to come out actually more closer to 10th. But he is more than good to go to the finish. And he's got a little bit fresher tires than the rest of the drivers that pitted lap or two earlier. So we'll see how that pans out. Cooper Dwight, your leader, here with 35 laps to go. Alex Crowther, Carson Bowers, Alex Sanvital, and Jimmy Logano. Willow Blake, Rich Roy, Eli the Wolf, Spinham Walker, Alan Malcolm, and Finley Herwig in 11th. Well, Cooper Dwight's teammate gets by Alex Crowther, so now you've got Cooper Dwight and Carson Bowers 1-2 for the first time here tonight. Alex Crowther and Alex Sanvital fall back to third and fourth. Willow Blake in fifth. Jimmy Logano sixth. Alan Malcolm seventh. Eli the Wolf, Rich Roy, Krista Cower, and Finley Herwig. So that's your top 10 as they run. Still quite a bit of racing left to go. 26 laps, there's a lot that could happen here. However, not likely to see a lot of change at the front of the field as Cooper Dwight and Carson Bowers have a pretty solid reign on the field. But then you got to start wondering about the fuel mileage. If they're pushing it too hard here, are they burning too much fuel at the front of the field? And we know for a fact that Finley Herwig has got more than enough fuel to make it to the finish. He's sitting a little bit deeper than he would like to be in the 10th, 11th range, 12th, 13th if he falters here, falls backwards. It does seem like our leaders have let up off the throttle a little bit to try and conserve some fuel here in the final stint of this race. Well, the team owner leads the race, but his teammate and the points leader hunting him down here for the lead. As already prior mentioned, fuel mileage starting to factor in here a little bit. Some of these drivers may be letting up and trying to save fuel to make it to the finish. Guarantee you that Carson Bowers may not be on much of a save strategy here as he's caught up to the back bumper of Cooper Dwight. Dwight, on the other hand, is in severe save mode, as I don't think he's got enough fuel to make it to the finish. Honestly, I don't think Carson Bowers does either. So where he's getting his numbers may be kind of a stretch here for that 12 to make it. It's going to be down to 20 laps to go next time by, and Carson Bowers ain't going to waste any time. He wants to try and get by the boss man and run away with this one for as long as the fuel tank will allow him. This is going to turn into a good old-fashioned dash to the finish with 20 laps to go. Teammates duking it out for first and second. Well, there you have it. Carson Bowers takes the lead. Your current points leader just continuing to lay it on thick here in the Bridge to Cup Series. They're going to have to deal with the lap traffic there of Zach Magoon. And of course, a late race caution could really shake things up here today too. 19 laps to go though, and it's still staying green so far. Driver with the best opportunity to get the job done here. Deeper in the field as they've fallen. Finlay Herwig must still kind of be on fuel save strategies here. He figures that everyone else is going to have to pit on the white flag. He's going to just keep rolling it. We had a big dust cloud there. No caution. Was it a driver that went for a wild ride, maybe? Oh wow, the 81 had probably a, oh there you go, flat tire for the 81. He pulled down on the apron into the grass with the flat tire. No caution, we stay green. One mechanical failure that does not bring out a caution here today. 18 laps remaining. And I'm going to get this race in before midnight on the Pacific Coast time zone, which is almost perfect because I didn't know if I'd get it done within a timely window here tonight. Definitely Sigma after hours for those. 3-hour stretch here of trucks and Bridge to Cup racing. Cooper Dwight making a move on his teammate. Bowers, Dwight duking it out for the win here tonight. That's so fun to watch. Two teammates giving it their all, not holding up for either of them. This could very well go down as a top battle of the season here in Bridge to Cup between teammates as Carson Bowers and Cooper Dwight continue to swap it back and forth. And you do have Alex Crowther there now in the mix, trying to make things interesting here. 3-dog fight for the win, but will they have enough gas to pull him down for one final lap with the white flag out? We will find out in 15 laps time if they've got enough fuel in the tank, enough in the reserve. I'm impressed that we had those 2 early cautions, and since then it's pretty much been non-stop running all the way to the end here. It's really helped the pace of this race kick up into overdrive. Alex Sanvital in 4th, Willow Blake in 5th, Jimmy Logano in 6th. And you got Alan Malcolm 7th, Krista Cower 8th, Eli the Wolf in 9th, Rich Roy 10th, Trevor Vaden 11th, Tim Cording up to 12th, and running in 13th, Finley Herwig. duking it out with Spin'em Walker for that position. Finley is really letting up off the throttle. He has dropped way off the pace here. Significant fuel save strategy there on that one. And he was even one of the first ones to stretch it the longest. So he's definitely playing an interesting long game here. Almost leads me to believe that the 12 and the 41 are going to have to come in with nearly 3 laps to go if Finley's out there saving fuel. And then, of course, if we get a late race caution here, that kind of eliminates any of those extra strategies that are trying to play out here tonight. Well, there you go. Some of your leaders already making the trip down pit road here with 12 laps to go, insanely enough. So Cooper Dwight burned way too much fuel trying to run for the win here today. Finley Herwig in that super save strategy, maybe in a winning boat now. Willow Blake up to second after a few more people dip down pit road. Carson Bowers, your leader, with 10 laps to go. But he's more than likely going to have to pit here. Yep, he is committing down pit road with 10 laps to go. What a rough break. Didn't save enough fuel. Oh, Willow Blake's having to come with Jimmy Logano as well. And so now the strategies swap hands as Alan Malcolm and Finley Herwig swap out to the lead with 10 laps to go. Those leaders were able to come down pit road and do a quick gas and go, I imagine. And I'm wondering if these drivers are going to be able to stretch it to the finish. No, not for Alan Malcolm. Nope, he's going to stay out. So Malcolm stays out. Finley Herwig stays out. And it looks like their beds have been made. They have decided to push their luck here today at Indy. Luis Rodriguez takes the position away from Finley Herwig there for second. No, and there is a wreck. Is it going to turn into a caution? It does. Wow. Talk about bad timing. And it looks like maybe the 28 of Jimmy Logano was involved in this wreck here. Yep, sure enough. 40 of Alex Sanvital drives it in there. Brings the race into his own hands. Evidently thinking the strategy was not going to pan out for a win. So takes executive liberties into his own hands. Spins out Jimmy Logano. Sigma officials gonna go ahead and black flag the number 40 on that one. That was a bad call on his part. So what do we do if you are on a super save strategy here? This might actually give you that extra fuel mileage to make it to the finish. Well, the 19's pitting. But the 48 and the 68 are staying out. So a late race restart, what's probably going to turn into about a 5 lap or less green, almost like a green-white checkered here today at Indianapolis for the finale finish of this race. Give the wave around and get everyone back on the lead lap here. So in his oval debut, Finley Herwig used the fuel mileage strategy here tonight, and it might actually pan out for a decent finish here, as this caution is actually helping him stretch the fuel numbers even a little further than what he could have did running at pace. So getting to stay out here with 7 laps to go. We're going to wait till the pace car's lights turn off. He might be able to run this thing to the finish with 5 laps to go. And who knows where he might end up at the end of the 110 laps here at Indianapolis. This finale, this closing laps, this could be one for the record books, folks. You always want to be the first, the inaugural Hoosier 275 for the Sigma Bridge to Cup Series. Someone is going to leave here tonight with the first ever win in Bridge to Cup competition at Indianapolis. And could it be Luis Rodriguez or Finley Herwig, Gannon Bird, Ryan Little, Jason So, Jonah Burridge? Those are 6 unlikely candidates there fighting for the win tonight. Didn't seem like they had the best of cars up until the end here. But then you got the points leader, Carson Bowers, and his team owner, Cooper Dwight, Alex Crowther, Willow Blake, Alex Sanvital, Krista Cower, Eli the Wolf, Spinham Walker, Tim Cording, Wyatt Wilkinson, Trevor Vaden, Rich Roy, Alan Malcolm, Kat Durham, Jack Davis, Roach, Jimmy Logano, who got spun out to bring this caution. He's starting deep in 23rd on what could very well be the final restart of the race. He had a top 10 car all day, but unfortunately the 40 was ran right through him. We're not going to see it until the green flag drops, but this 40 is going to have to serve a black flag penalty for avoidable contact on the 28 of Jimmy Logano. So even though they are in 11th right now, they're going to have to go down pit road, and the penalty will be severe, as that's going to drop him almost out of the running, maybe even a lap down by the end of it here. As the lap tracker is going to switch over to lap 105 here with 5 laps to go. The lights are going to turn off on the pace car, and that means we're going to have a 4-lap shootout to decide the winner here today. Do our leaders have enough fuel in the tanks? Are they going to be running on fumes to the finish? How about the drivers behind them that did pit? Are they going to be hard chargers to try and steal the win with 4 laps to go? This could get very, very hairy for the rest of the field, as you've got a lot of fast cars stuck deeper in the running order here. I'm feeling like this might be a highlight reel moment here for Sigma Bridge to Cup Racing, folks. So if you're not tuned in tonight, don't worry. I feel like this could be short-worthy moment in the race, as we are closing in on a 4-lap shootout here at Indianapolis where anything could happen. Truly a wild finish is upon us here. You got Cadillac, you got Hyundai, you got Toyota, you've got Ford, you've got Mazda, and you even have a BMW in the top 10. But only one of them can take to victory lane here tonight. Doubled up for the restart. We're getting ready to go. And this is going to get interesting, folks. You might want to get to the edge of that seat. Might be a nail biter. It might be a barn burner. Finley Herwig has been on fire in the Sigma ARCA series, and upon getting called to a full-time ride here in Bridge to Cup, how amazing of a story would that be if Finley could get his first career Bridge to Cup win in the same season that he got his first career Sigma ARCA win. Growing like crazy. Here we go, drag race down the front stretch, and Finley's got the advantage on Luis Rodriguez heading into turn 1. 4 laps to go. All he's going to have to do now is hold off the rest of the field and hope he's got enough fuel in the tank. Luis is not going to let him have it easy, though. As you see, that 48 running right up on the back bumper of the 68. Green-white checkers are in action here today. So if we get another wreck, you might as well kiss it goodbye for Finley Herwig, Luis Rodriguez, and those drivers that are running on fuel mileage here today. Luis makes a move on the inside of Finley and blows by him for the lead. But Finley's going to drag race on the outside. He's got the momentum. He's going to carry it down the front stretch. Finley gets the position back away from Luis Rodriguez, even though Rodriguez looked like he was going to steal it there. Teammates, the 48, actually they are not teammates. TSI Motorsports, or TSI Racing, is that number 46 Cadillac. The 48 Cadillac is a Cording Brothers Motorsports entry. So 2 different Cadillac teams. Finley out front leading at Indianapolis. Track that the heroes are often made out of. Winning here is legendary. Just a couple laps left to go. Finley needs to see that white flag to know that the race is official at that point. I'm amazed that they're driving away from the rest of the field here. Could there be some team tactics here? Jason So holding up the hard Chargers. You got the 12 on fresh tires, full tank of gas, and finally gets around the 55. But that is a teammate to the 68. Finley Herwig loses the position here to Luis Rodriguez. But I think you might start to see that number 12, it's going to be a non-factor for Finley Herwig if the 12 gets into the mix. Fresh tires all the way to the finish here. That 12 is going to get by Finley Herwig, and it's going to be game over. Yeah, look at that. What difference fresh tires make. Team tactics did factor in there for a moment. The 55 of Jason So kept him behind it for quite a while, trying to keep the 12 from advancing to catch up to his teammate at the front of the field. Man, Finley losing his traction here to the 48 as Luis Rodriguez is starting to drive away with it. Now it seems like the 12 has caught the 68 but hasn't made a move around him yet. Finley maybe getting a little bit of drafting help out of the 12. Seems to be helping a little bit. We are going to see the white flag this time. Finley Herwig is not out of the mix. He's going to have to do it with some of the best in the series here. Carson Bowers, your points leader. How is this all going to pan out? White flag waving, one more lap to go here at Indianapolis. Carson Bowers blows by Finley Herwig as well as Eli the Wolf. And Finley definitely gave it his all here today. But I don't think he's going to get back into it here. Not unless there's a wreck or a mechanical failure out of the leaders. Carson Bowers had the fresh tires and came all the way from 7th. And he takes the lead away here from the 48 of Luis Rodriguez. Last lap pass for the win, and it's going to go to Carson Bowers here at Indianapolis. Your points leader only continuing to grow that points lead substantially over the rest of the field. Finley Herwig's going to bring it home in 4th. A tremendous resurgence on strategy to get him a top 5 finish here today. Willow Blake brings it home in 8th. But it's Carson Bowers to victory lane for the 5th time this season. And at a track where champions are made, your points leading driver continues to assert his dominance in the series here. And that, folks, is the glory of Indianapolis. You get some wild finishes sometimes. That we got tonight a last lap pass for the win from Carson Bowers. Definitely a highlight moment on the season. Oh, and Finley had to have run out of gas right after the finish there. Yeah, he did. Watch, he's sputtering. He gave it his all. He ran it all the way dry. And then everyone else just came dogpiling into him. Unfortunate that the car couldn't come home in one piece, but still a 4th place finish for Finley Herwig, running it all the way until he had no more fuel left in the tank. That's impressive. Nah, I mean, it doesn't matter how, that happened at the end. He ran it until it ran dry and got a top 5 finish still. So, great start to his full-time campaign here in the Bridge to Cup Series. No doubt about it. And he had a shot at winning it too. I mean, it just didn't come down to it when there wasn't enough space between him and the last place. Man, if that caution had never come out, it would have probably been a fight between Luis Rodriguez and Finley Herwig. And I honestly, that caution is probably the only reason Finley didn't run out of gas too. If with the caution, he was able to save fuel under the yellow flag and make it to the finish. So there's so many factors, so many things that could have changed and ultimately made this a different race by the end of it. Regardless, Finley turned what was about a 10th place car into a 4th place car. So big turnaround here today at Indianapolis with the strategy call that got him a top 5. And congrats yet again to Carson Bowers on securing another win here in Bridge to Cup competition. He's truly going to be one of the stoutest contenders to fight for the title here at the end of the year. And ultimately, thanks to all of you for tuning in. Couldn't have done all of this fun stuff without having an audience. So getting these other races out of the way so that we can focus on the big race this weekend with the Cup, this week rather, the Sigma Coke 600. It's going to be exciting. We'll have ARCA race and the Sigma Coke 600 sprint qualifier in the next couple days leading up to that Coke 600. So hopefully all can tune in and catch that one. If anything, hopefully you enjoyed watching this race on re-air since it was so late when I streamed it. But until next time, folks, this is Jakester signing out. Have a good one.